Man, I tell you. Hopefully this will work now. Three minutes gone, and then we good? We back? Alright, cool. I think we back. Yes. Yeah. Man, boy, I tell you, man, it's always something, man. I try to do things the right way, but then something always goes wrong. So we good, right? Everybody can see me. Everybody can see the chat. Yes, no, maybe so. Let me just double check and make sure that's right. Test on the chat. Does that pop up here? Yes, that is correct. Alright, man, I tell you. Okay, so we back. That's what I get for every time. I swear, every time I try to do like a double broadcast where I do like YouTube and I do Facebook, something always go wrong. Always. But sound a bit loud. Oh yeah, you know what? It might be. Let me fix that. Is that better? Yeah. Alright. Cool. Is that better now? I hope that's better. Should be better. Should be better. Should be better. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright, so now that's good. I can close that out and I can close that garbage. Cool, cool, cool. Got my sound right now. Y'all can hear me good. We cool, not too loud. Alright. Hey. Alright, let me give some shout outs because I got to shout my peoples out. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's see who gets that relationship rehab salute. First up is Athena's World. What's happening? Barbara, what's up with you? Old School Maggie, what's happening? Me Mud, my man, Food, Clothing, Music, and Shelter, what's happening? King Lavender, what's good? Pete the Pirate, matey. Yes sir. Arcade McFly, the Cooniverse. Yes indeed. Let's see who else we got in here. James White, what's up, man? Long time no see, brother. Long time no see. Kenyon Lamont, what's happening? Chris G, my man, what's going on, brother? Yes indeed. Say what's up to Stephen W. What's up? He said that short was short and straight to the point. Hey man, we had technical difficulties now. That's all good. Derek Floyd, what's up? Derek Floyd hit me with the donation. That's what's up. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Next time, put it on the PayPal, brother. Put it on the PayPal. All right, let's see who else we got in here. Jermaine Johnson, Cynthia Mayalo. Hey, how you been? I haven't seen you in a while neither. That's what's up. Good to see you back. Sassy Francis, what's happening? My brother from another mother. All the way from the OKC. My brother DJ Just J-O-K. What's happening? Salute to you, brother, and to your lady J Mega Lovin'. Yes, indeed. What's up to Kelly Brown Eyes? How you been? I haven't seen you in a while neither. Boy, this is like a reunion show, huh? Yeah. Let's see who else I got in here. My man Lord Darth Vader. Luke, I am your father. What's up? Joey Sparks, Phil McCracken, release the Kraken. Yeah, buddy. Leroy, playtime is over. What's up, Leroy? St. Louis, I feel you, brother. Lady LeCremo, what's happening? Let's see who else. Green Bay, boy, I tell you. Green Bay, man, you know I am not a Packers fan. You know I'm not a Packers fan, but I got to give you a shout out, though. Shout out to my man, Skull Hall. What up with you, brother? Salute to you. Fred Antonio Michael, what's going on, Fred Antonio? Very good to see you, my friend. Chassis, what's happening? What's good, Chassis? All right, let's see. My man, last but not least, my man, David Williams. What up, Bizzle. Lubbock's in the building. I feel you, brother. I'll be glad when I can get on down there to old Texas. Yes, sir. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Gonna get there sooner or later. Alright, so let's dive right in. So first and foremost, like I said in the other short pre-show, I guess we're gonna call that the pre-show, the one that happened before. Yeah, it's the pre-show. We had a little bit of Nate Dogg in the beginning. Yep, shout out to my man Nate Dogg. I was just feeling him today, so I had to bring some of that to you. And also we're gonna talk about this Roseanne national anthem and this LeBron James Michael Jordan thing. So first and foremost, Roseanne. Now, for those of you who don't know, for those of you who may be hiding under a rock somewhere, you may be been locked up, or matter of fact, shout out to my brother G Ball on the way home. I see you, brother. Glad to have you back. My man Greg is out there from that business. He back home. Good to see you, brother. You did your thing. You kept your head up, and it's good to see you. Welcome back home, brother. Shout out to you if you're watching. And let's see. This Roseanne thing. So, for those of you who may not know, Roseanne show, which was an ABC reboot and also turned out to be a hit. Hold on for a minute now. This is my wife. Hello? Hey, honey bunny, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I just started my show and I saw you calling, so I had to answer the phone. Okay, you on your way to me? Alright, baby. I'll see you shortly. Alright, love you too, and be careful. Alright, bye. Shout out to my wife just getting off work. Gotta take care home, Jack. There you go. Come on home to me, baby. Alright, so, Roseanne, she had a reboot of the show Roseanne, right? Everybody remember Roseanne from the 90s. They brought back the cast. They did a full reboot of the show, and the show actually turned out to be a hit. It had humongous ratings. ABC was blowing up on the TV scene. And what happened, this was just maybe yesterday, day before yesterday, a couple days ago. She got on Twitter. And I didn't even know who this lady was that she talked about. But she referred to this lady who was somebody from the Obama administration. He said, Brian, no shout out. Come on, dog. Daniel Lewis, I didn't see you, baby. I'm sorry, brother. Hey, all the way from London, England. I didn't see you, you old bloke. I didn't see you. Shout out to you, brother. But getting back to the story. So she made a comment, and the comment was, this lady that used to work for the Obama administration, she said that she looked like a person from the Muslim Brotherhood, and that monkey from the female Planet of the Apes chick from the old movie Planet of the Apes, the one that played the female, as if they had a baby, and that's how she looked. Sent Twitter into a tither. It was in a frenzy. People called her racist, and it was insensitive, and all of those things. And essentially what wound up happening is the executives from ABC pulled the plug and they canceled the show. Now, I'm going to say this, and you can like it or not, but it's because what I'm going to say. I'm going to say what I'm going to say because that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. So, do I think that, first and foremost, I think that what she said, it was stupid. Plain and simple. She shouldn't have said it. It was offensive, and it was definitely insensitive. If that was my mama, even though she was accurate, how that chick looked, because I swear for Lord, that lady do look like a Muslim and a Planet of the Apes chick, or she do look like her. But being a celebrity, there's certain things that you just don't need to. I mean, there's certain things that you can say, and yes, you're a comedian and you want to be funny, but then there's certain things that you just should not say. And that was one of them, because she shouldn't have put it out on Twitter. Because at the end of the day, even though it may be funny to some, even though some people will get the joke, it's not one of those things where everybody's going to get the joke. And at the end of the day, it was offensive. If that was my mama, I'd be like, hey, fuck Roseanne. She on some bullshit talking about my mama like that. If that was my auntie, I'd be the same way. I would have been offended. And with that being said, I think that, number one, I always say this, you have to have some level of responsibility when it comes to just the things that you put out into the world, into the universe, whatever it is that you speak. I am definitely a proponent of freedom of speech. I definitely am. But when it comes to you being a celebrity, when it comes to you doing what it is that you do as a celebrity, I think that there are certain things that can be very damaging to your career. And this, in this instance, was one of them. Now, the problem that I have with the whole situation is that they canceled the show. And the reason why I have a problem with that is because we have now, and this has been something that has been going on for quite some time, ever since the whole Me Too movement has just been amped up even more. This thing to where Hollywood and the so-called people of America, where when you do something that is wrong, or you make a mistake, or you offend a certain group or a certain person or a certain class of people, whatever the case may be, this whole thing of taking away everything, calling you a racist, and you need to lose everything, I have a problem with that. Because when you look at what actually happened, I don't think it was necessarily racist. And the reason why I say it wasn't racist is because she compared her to something that it looked like. And that has happened plenty of times. And here's why I'm going to back it up with the fact. They said that when Trump came in office, because of his tanning, his spray tan, or whatever, however the hell he tan, the dude be orange. And they said that he looked like an orangutan. So if you say that, are you now saying that Trump is an orangutan? Is that racist? I don't think so. Is it offensive? Yes. But racist? No. We throw that word around just too much. It's just too loosely used of a term. You say something about somebody of another ethnicity, another race, or something like that, then all of a sudden you're racist. That's not the case in this instance. It was just a likeness. She looked like that person. There are plenty of people that look like dogs, cats, animals, monkeys, giraffe, whatever you want to call it, horses and everything. There are plenty of people that look like animals. And when you call somebody, it's not like she called her and said, yeah, she's a monkey. She needs to be in a tree somewhere eating a banana. She didn't say that. She said that the girl looked like the chick from Planet of the Apes. And she does. So I'm not going to give the racist card a play there. I'm just not going to do it. But I think that what she said was offensive, because she didn't have to say it that way. And you don't have to put everything that you think out into social media. Because if she was sitting at a table of friends at dinner and they got to talking about whatever, she said she looked like that girl from Planet of the Apes. Whatever the case may be, hey, you said it, that's what it is. Putting things like that out on social media, you're going to have some type of blowback from that. Being a celebrity and being the caliber of celebrity that she is. The people that suffer from her reckless tweeting is what I have a problem with. Because the makeup artists, the clothing and designing artists, the light crew, the key grip. I don't even know what the hell a key grip is. Do y'all know what a key grip is? They always have it in the movies, always on the show. I don't know what a key grip is. But anyway, the key grip, the director of photography, the producers of the show, the writers of the show, all of those people should not lose their job because Roseanne don't know how to control herself. And the whole thing about being on Ambien and all that kind of stuff, I could care less what you do. If you was shooting up heroin, you're responsible for what you do. You're responsible. You are $80 million woman. You are a veteran in show business. You are responsible for the things that you tweet. Now, if you the type of person where you want to say what you want to say and do what you want to do, live how you want to live like the Addams family, do that. But you need to get a publicist. So you need to have your publicist take care of your Twitter, take care of your Instagram, take care of your Facebook, take care of all of that stuff. Because when you just speak reckless like that, it's not just a thing of you being insensitive or being offensive to other people. It's about you saying, you putting yourself in a position to where you are going to lose big because of what you say. And I don't think that that's necessarily fair, because just because you say something that people don't like, just because you say something that is offensive to a certain group of people, because everybody didn't find it offensive, certain people did, and I get that. But you don't deserve to lose everything. That's just like if you work in your job and you having a bad day and you wind up going or saying something offensive to a customer, should you get fired that day? No. You have to get written up. You have to maybe have some type of coaching. You have to have a sit down with your manager. Depending on the job that you're in, you might have to go through the union and have a union meeting and talk to your union rep. There are a lot of different recourses for that. Now, is that the same as being a celebrity? No. But here's my thing. As far as a solution, what you do with that celebrity, and here's what ABC should have did instead of just pulling the plug and letting everybody suffer because of Roseanne and ABC trying to tout their chest and show that we're not going to tolerate that. That's a bunch of BS, because there are people that deserve to have that job, that wrote their asses off, that performed their asses off to make that show great again and to put that show back at the top of the charts. And those people should not have to suffer because of Roseanne. What ABC should have done, they should have given her an option, because there is a certain level of eliteness, there is a certain level of ego and attitude that comes along with a lot of celebrities. What ABC should have did was they should have said, hey, look, here's what you can do. First and foremost, you would bring your butt on the 10 o'clock news, or you bring your butt on the 7 o'clock news in the morning, and you will make a formal and public apology in front of everybody. That's an option there. Then you will give half of your salary to some donation or to some fund to help bridge the gap with racial insensitivity or something like that. You do something like that. There's a reprimand there. You can reprimand somebody, and then now if you also want to think of something, you're going to do so many hours of community service or whatever the case may be to help bridge this gap between insensitive and insensitive language or whatever you want to call it with other people. You have her do that. Now you give her that option, and if she says screw you, I'm gonna do what the hell I want to do and I'm gone, fine. Hey, look, we tried to give her an option and try to fix this thing because we did not want to just pull the plug on the show. She left us no choice. That makes you look good as the network, and it makes Roseanne look like the ass that she may really be if she didn't want to do that. So it's like you have to have some type of option as opposed to just saying everybody loses their job. Like Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey he lost his career, got taken out of a movie that didn't even get released yet. He lost all of that just because some dude, some 20-something years back said, yeah, he was hitting on me and he tried to have sex with me, all that kind of stuff. It's like you can't just take everything away from people. We need to be better than that as a society and as people to say, yeah, you mess up, you absolutely got to be responsible for your actions. But that don't mean that you necessarily just lose your job the one mistake that you make. You shouldn't just lose your job and lose everything just because you said something that offended somebody or you did something that was wrong. Hell, if I go rob a liquor store today, I'm not going to jail for life. I'm not. Now, will I go to jail? Yep. But I will definitely get probation. I'll definitely get parole. Hell, I'll at least be able to get bail until I am found guilty. We got this thing now with this whole Me Too movement where if somebody says anything that happened, and not that it's necessarily a crime, but you just made them feel uncomfortable, now I'm gone. I lose everything. I'm the worst person in the world, and the only person that's worse than me is the person that's going to get accused of something tomorrow. But as of right now, I'm the worst person in the world. I'm going to lose every movie. I'm going to lose every commercial, every endorsement, and I'm going to have to pay a ton of money in civil court just to stop the allegations. And I ain't gonna work no more, and I'm gonna have to try to make a comeback maybe some 5 or 10 years later. Look at Isaiah Washington. Lost everything. Taken out of movies, taken off TV, everything, nothing. So there has to be some type of recourse that you have. Even a player who abuses drugs in sports, they don't just get kicked out of the league they first rip. So you have to have some type of balance as to what you're doing, because if not, what it is and what it comes out to be, it's just a straight up witch hunt. That's all it is. You get burned. We think you a witch. Somebody told us you a witch. Burn them at the stake in front of everybody as everybody cheers and applaud and shout and chant, and that's it. You just lose everything, including your life. I think that there has to be some type of middle ground. It can't be that black and white when it comes to how you deal with the punishment, reconciliation, whatever it is you want, the restitution, whatever you want to call it. You have to have some type of groundwork, some type of system, and that's something that should be talked about on an individual case. It has to be that way. Even when you want to go back to the Don Imus thing, y'all remember that years ago when Don Imus was, boy, those are sure some nappy-headed hoes. That was some bogus shit to say, especially on the radio, and especially to a bunch of people you don't even know. If that would have been my sister on that team, I'd have been pissed off and wanted to hit Don Imus' ass in the face. But at the end of the day, everybody wanted to get him fired, get him off the network, he can't work it. I get it. There has to be some type of recourse or some type of reprimand for it, but it shouldn't be that you lose your job when you make a mistake. Just because you are a celebrity. You should not lose your job. First chance, you gotta have some type of understanding, some type of leniency. Second chance, hey man, you really need to get your shit together. Now third time, you out of there, hey, I get it. 3 strikes you out, I understand. But the problem with that is we want to pick and choose based on who like them and who they supporting. Because how the hell does Bill Maher still have his job? How the hell does Bill Maher still have his show? He's still Bill Maher doing his thing. And he simply said, oh, I'm a house nigga. And that's cool. But you can't say, hey, this person looks like that chick from Planet of the Apes. Oh, that's totally offensive, and you need to. All Bill Maher did was brought Ice Cube on his show and let him talk and chat and give him a tongue lashing, and that was it. He good. I can't go with that. No can do. I can't go for that. That's not fair. There has to be some type, and everything can't just be, 50-50 all the way down the line. I get that. But there has to be some type of reasonable type of recourse to say, hey, this is how we're going to handle this. This is what we're going to do to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Because it shouldn't just be a thing of you just wanting to destroy somebody. You should be wanting to bridge the gap to where those type of things don't happen. It's just that simple. So that's all I got to say about that. And you said, what the hell? It was a bad joke, not cute at all, but definitely wasn't racist. Social media is killing us. I agree, Kelly. I mean, there has to be some type of control or some type of recourse to say, well, hey, we're not going to go to the extreme. It can't just be the extreme. And I get that part too, Arcade. Comedians can't be comedians anymore. I think they can. I just think that there's a certain thing. You have to look at it like this. And this is what I would say to any celebrity. This is what I would say to anybody that's out there that is trying to be in the spotlight. You have to view social media like you are writing literally in stone. I'm going to say that again. You need to view your social media outlets like a stone tablet. The words that you say are a chisel. And it's like you taking a chisel and a hammer and you ding, 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 and you putting what you're saying literally in stone. So when you look at it and you say, this is in stone, this is what I'm saying, you need to make sure that that's something that you want to be in stone. And if it's just something that you're saying in the heat of the moment, if it's just something that you're saying because you're upset, if it's just something that you're saying because you're pissed off, that's not always something that you want in stone. Sometimes you just want to vent. And when you vent, venting should be like air. It should be something that is out there and it's gone. You should not vent like that on social media because things can get taken out of context and they can be offensive to a lot of different people. So that's what I'm going to say about that. So you said, what a human hidden numanicist said. I don't know what that means. How else am I supposed to take the word ape? It's rude. It's rude. Case closed. You don't say shit like that. Here's the thing. What's the difference between being called an ape or being called a dog? What's the difference between being called an ape and being called a horse? What's the difference between being called an ape and being called a jackass? What's the difference between being called those names? Here's the problem. Here's why I disagree with what you're saying. If somebody that you know and you black can call you a nigga and you cool with that, if somebody that you know can call you a bitch and you cool with that, you should not be offended by the word ape. Now, we're not talking about the 50s when you had the whole pygmy, blackface, little pygmy thing signs up for black people. We passed that. That's not what this is. This, you talking some 60 some odd years, 60 plus years later, and we still trying to hold on to that whole, that type of oh, you a monkey. That at the end, I mean, you even think about it like this. When you look at the kid with the monkey thing, how many people do you know, and how many, and this is actually something that Tommy said. How many times do you hear people refer to kids as little monkeys? Is that necessarily a racist thing, or is it something that can be racist? It has been in the past, some 50, 60 years ago, when you would call a porch monkey or something like that. Yes, that's not the context that is being used in today. And if it's not being used in that context, we shouldn't be the ones reaching back trying to say, well, you still can't say that. So, because at the end of the day, if you turned around and we call a white dude an orangutan, that's an ape. That was some type of ape or some type of primate, I would say. So, is that rude? Is that insensitive? Is that disrespectful? You're going to have to say, yeah, you can't have it both ways. You just can't. And it's like a lot of this stuff that we try to hold on to from slavery, we have to let that thing go, man. Slavery is not the end all and be all to what black people is and what black people have been in America. You have to be able to say, hey, yeah, that was a fucked up period in our life. That was a fucked up period in our history. But we have moved past that. We have moved past that. And the fact that we keep rehashing that, that's a problem. Now, if somebody came up and brought a picture and said, yeah, she looks like a mammy. Now, if she would have said that, yes, because you're reaching back to an old slave connotation that was actually used back then. Then yes. Because at the end of the day, people shouldn't be buying Mrs. Butterworth syrup, because she damn sure look like a mammy. And I know half of y'all still put it on your pancakes today. The only reason why I don't is because of the high fructose corn syrup content in it. That's the only reason why I don't. But that Mrs. Butterworth don't offend me one bit when I'm pouring it on my waffles. Now, it may kill me, give me diabetes, but at the end of the day, the bottle does not offend me. Aunt Jemima on the syrup, that should be still offensive, but it's not. So it's like there has to be some point to where you say, okay, this is something that, yes, it was bad then in that time, and we don't do that particular thing anymore in that context, but that don't mean that the word is just something that you can't ever use again. If I use the word monkey at work, I guarantee I would be in HR's office and probably on my way to being fired. Depending on where you work and the context in which you used it, yes, you very well could be. And that is the problem. In the context that you're using it in, if you say, you know what, I wish all these monkeys would get out of my office. Why do they have to be monkeys in that sense? Why can't they be people? Why can't they be whatever you want to call it? Because that could be offensive. I get it. I totally get that. And what I'm saying to you is that we have to move past the negative context of everything that we do, because we let certain shit slide and it's cool. We let certain shit slide and it's all good. I was watching Food Network, Man versus Fire, or Man, Food and Fire. I think that was the show. And the black dude that's on there, he's literally talking with a white guy about what he's cooking and the way he has his grill set up. And he literally says, this nigga's a genius. Nobody said nothing. It's all good. I got the video footage on my phone. It's cool. That flew by. Ain't nobody said nothing. That dude still got his job. He's still working. He ain't lost nothing. And like I said, if it's something that's offensive, which it very well could be, I'm all about the, hey, you need to stop, be reprimanded or whatever. I don't think you need to lose everything. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If you use the word ape at work, depending on how you used it, I don't think the first time you used it, you should be fired. That's all I'm saying. So there has to be some type of, it can't just be, hey, you say this, that's it, you lose everything, you ain't got no job, everybody who was with you on your project, they ain't got no job, we just done. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that there's a way, there has to be a better way to bridge that gap to fix that part of us that may do or say things that may be offensive. And then I'm going to say this. There are just some things that you should be able to say just because of freedom of speech. At the end of the day, when somebody posted earlier about the whole comedian thing, being a comedian, comedians can't be comedians no more. If you on stage and you saying what you saying, you doing your thing, that's one thing. However, if you on social media and you on Twitter and Facebook and you saying what you saying, remember, it's a chisel and a hammer. And what you doing is writing it in stone. And yes, it can be taken out of context. Context. Yes, it can be insensitive to some people. It really can. So you should be more careful with what you say. Have some discernment. You know what, I'm kind of feeling this right now, but I don't want to say this to offend. Because when you're doing things as a comedian, and if it's live, and if it's in person, you on stage, you can actually explain yourself with the joke. You can say, yeah, that was a bad joke. Or you can say, hey, this is what I'm saying, and you can explain it. When you just texting and typing, it can definitely be taken out of context, and it can be, the actual intention of it can definitely be mistaken for something else. That's just like arguing with a text message. That's one of the things in relationship rehab that I talk about. You don't argue in text. People like to do it, but the reason why I say you don't do it is because you don't hear the inflection of my voice. You don't understand how serious or how not serious I could be speaking. I could be joking, and you won't get that via the text all the time. So that's why I say don't do it at all. If you got a problem with your spouse, you got a problem with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, don't do it via text. Because at the end of the day, what you can do is you can say the wrong thing and somebody can take it the wrong way, and they can make a mountain out of a molehill. Case in point. Moving right along. So what's next is the NFL and the national anthem. So I'm going to play this video real quick and let us take a look at that. And we're going to see exactly what we're talking about. And I want to hear what people got to say, and I'm going to say what I need to say about it. So hang tight. This is fair use. There's a FBI warning there. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe on the copyright under 17 USC 107. There we go. So let's check this out real quick. It's only like a minute and a half, I think. Minute and 40 seconds. Tell me what y'all think.
This is mind-boggling to me. They just cannot see the forest for the trees. They continue to fuel the flames that come from a lot of the fan base that has completely convoluted what the original message was in the first place. Somehow, and by the way, if you're wondering what, Google Sterling Brown today. There's a video that's coming out later today with Milwaukee Bucks Sterling Brown. That's the exact reason why these guys feel the way they feel and have every right to feel the way they feel. And now you're going to once again put the onus on the players, and like Jalen said, make them be responsible for a penalty for the entire team, because you don't want to open your mind. You don't want to listen. You want to pretend like you're having meetings and we're giving money to these causes, and we're really here for you guys. We care. You don't care. And what you could do is get out in front of it and make the fans understand why this continues to happen, instead of turning it into a protest of the flag, of the troops, of this country. It's never been about any of those things. But they want to continue to just fan those flames. Fan the flames so the fans continue to talk out of their hiney, and we are still here. I love this. Good. Do this and have all teams kneel. Because what are you going to do? Just keep giving penalties back and forth, back and forth? This is going to be a great start to football game. I think we know very well how the NFL feels about this. So man up, make the rule so we can all just be clear about it. Because we know you don't want these guys guys kneeling. You don't want any sticky situations. You don't want to address the topic. You don't want to admit that we might actually have a problem in this country or many problems in this country. We get it. You don't want to talk about it. Then just say that. But every time you do one of these things, I roll my eyes and it just becomes a bigger and bigger joke.
Alrighty. So, the new rule in the NFL is that all players must stand for the national anthem. They cannot kneel. Unless, and if they don't want to stand for the national anthem, they need to stay in the locker room until the national anthem is over and done with, and then they can come out on the field. So, my thing is this. I think that is a fair enough solution for this whole kneeling thing because, number one, first and foremost, I don't think that you should have, and anybody else, and if you think about this way, I hope you can see what I'm saying. You can't go to your job and protest. I'm going to say that again. You can't go to your job where somebody else is paying you and protest. If I work for McDonald's, I cannot go to McDonald's out of uniform wearing a dashiki talking about until somebody does better with police brutality in the country, I'm not talking to customers. I'll ring them out, but I'm not going to talk to customers. I can't do that. Right? Right. Reason being is that when you're talking about your job, this is your job. You can't use your job for a political agenda that your boss ain't on board with. If the Panthers or the Bears or the Eagles or the Titans or whoever else, if they not with fighting this police brutality fight, you can't come into your job and make them. And you can't come into your job and misrepresent your boss and his company. And I think that's where people get this thing mixed up at, to where, oh man, they should be able to do whatever they want to do. They should be able to protest. That's their right. It's your right when you ain't at work. Yes. Now, after the game, if you want to go get you an American flag, drape it over yourself, and you want to walk up and down the street holding a sign saying we need to treat our citizens better as fellow Americans, I'm all for that, because that is making America great again. I'm with you. But when you come to work, you need to do your job. Because at the end of the day, these athletes are getting paid a good amount of money to do their job. And if I'm paying this dude thousands upon thousands of dollars every week, he getting a check for 15, 20 grand in his locker by the time the game over, and I don't want to deal with my fan base, the people that actually pay to come to my games, to my stadium, and they pay and buy my hot dogs, and they buy my burgers and my beer and all of this stuff to have a great time, and they think that that's offensive. I don't want my employees offending my customers. Plain and simple. And I think that every boss, every owner of their company has the right to do that. They do. It's just like with the NBA saying that you got to wear suits or whatever. That's the company. If that's what they are expecting you to do, what? Every company has some type of wardrobe, some type of uniform, some type of clothing policy. And if they have that, you have two choices, because there's always a choice. You either do it or you quit. It's not a bad thing. You just can't work there. It's that simple. I don't know why we are overcomplicating this thing. If I own the Chicago Bears and I want, hey, my Chicago Bears, when you come to work on Sunday, you got to wear orange and blue. That's my uniform. You don't want to do that? Fine. Just put in your resignation. Come sign this separation notice. We can cancel your contract. We can get you on up out of here and you can go. It's that simple. We are overcomplicating this thing. There are dress codes that companies have. There are rules and regulations. There are policies that companies have. You either adhere to them or you don't. You either go with them or you leave them. If you don't like it, leave the company. If they're asking you, if the national anthem is a part of their ceremony that they use to play this game of football, and they want you to participate in it, you have two options now to either stay your butt in the locker room or you come out on the field and stand. Do you have to make a blood oath and swear your allegiance with a drop of blood onto the grass every day? No, you don't. But you damn sure need to stand, because everybody else that's there, they're standing, and they expect you to have this to do the same exact thing. Or stay your ass in the locker room and come on out the tunnel as soon as they say, "And the home of the brave." Ready to play, coach. And it's that simple. But using that platform of your job to serve your own political agenda, I don't think that you have the right to do that. And you should not have the right to do that in somebody else's company and somebody else's workplace. It's just that simple. It is just that simple. So that's my thing on that. If you disagree or whatever, put it in the comment section. But at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you are doing your job, because that is what you get paid for. Plain and simple. They pay you to come play football. They do not pay you to be a politician. They do not pay you to come and be a political activist. They do not pay you to be a community activist. They don't pay you for that. They pay you to run, catch, jump, tackle, fight, and fight whatever it is. That's what they pay you for, to play the sport. And if you don't like that, they treating us like slaves, then quit. That's a plantation. Quit. Because you have that option. If what's my man, the quarterback for the Panthers? Dang, I can't think of the dude's name. Cam Newton don't want to play. He feel like he's being treated like a slave. If he don't show up to the game, don't come no more. Ain't nobody gonna come get no whip and crack him on his back. Now they may sue him for that money that they done gave him already, but he's not a slave. He don't have to play that game. None of them do. If you don't want to play, void your contract. Breach your contract. Pay that money back and keep it moving. Or come show up, play the game that you love to play, do your thing, get your money, and when you're done, take your millions and go back to the hood and do something for your people. It's that simple. Go buy your politicians like everybody else does. Go buy your politicians and get your laws changed. Go buy your lawyers and all of your community people and get your neighborhood changed around. That's what you do, as opposed to sitting there talking on TV talking about they ain't treating us right. That ain't gonna get you nowhere. It ain't gonna get you nothing but some attention for a little bit, and after that, it's gonna still be the same. Because last time I checked, ain't no laws been changed about how the police do their thing. It's always been the same, and it's still gonna be the same until you change the law. That's simple. And that's all I have to say about that, as Forrest Gump would say. Last but not least, this is definitely the highlight of what I wanted to talk about. This one here is in my heart of hearts. This is what the meat and potatoes is. This LeBron James and Michael Jordan thing has got to come to an end. We need to get to a point to where there's an understanding with LeBron James and Michael Jordan, to where we talking about, is he the greatest? He ain't the greatest. Is he the greatest? He ain't the greatest. All of that needs to come to an end, and I think I got a great solution as to how we can get that resolved. So, shout out to my brother who kicked this off earlier today. This was a real long post, and what he said in the post was, well, he asked the question, or he asked a GOAT question, which is greatest of all time. And he said, would Jordan win a ring with the team that LeBron has now? Let's say that again. Would Michael Jordan, the best ever, would he win with the team that LeBron has now? The team that LeBron has now, and Michael Jordan playing on that team in his prime, I think they would win. And I'm going to say this. A lot of people said things like, well, the players that was on that team back then, those players were better, or they wasn't as better, or they was better now than they are today, and all that. They went back and forth and talked about that whole thing. And I'm going to say this. First and foremost, when you're talking about the players of today versus the players in the 90s or in the 80s, in the Michael Jordan era. Number one, the players today are better players. Say what you want to say. The majority of the players that are in today's league are better athletes than the players that were in the NBA back in the 90s. They are. Fact. You're talking about athleticism, their ability to shoot, their ability to dribble. There are so many players that can do so many things now today than there were in the 80s and the 90s. They just are. So that's a fact. So number one, those players that are out today are better athletically as athletes than those players were back in the day. Part two to that is that the reason why you're able to compare them is because of, number one, the rules are different. And these two rules that people fail to realize when they're comparing Michael Jordan and LeBron James and the players of old versus the players of new, these are two huge rules. I don't know if anybody knows what I'm about to say, but these are two huge rules. Number one, the rule of defense, where there is a zone defense you can play now. And you couldn't do that back then. It wasn't no, I'm going to hang out on the blocks and be kind of close to somebody and let the game come to me because I know this dude going to want to come in here and score. So I can just hang out around here and then I can just try to jump. That was called illegal defense back in the 80s and the 90s. That's a fact. So there is a huge difference in that. The other thing is this. Anybody know what this means? This is called a hand check. Back in the 80s and the 90s, you could actually put, thank you, Sko, you could actually put your hand or your forearm on the player. So that means a player who is backing you up, you could literally put your forearm on that player's waist. They call that a hand check, and you could do that. Imagine if you were able to feel the way that a player was getting ready to move. Knowing that a player is going left. Knowing that a player is going right because you can feel his body doing it. That is a huge advantage. So I think that balances it out. That makes it balanced because you talk about the rules, you talk about the overall physicality back then. The fouls that are called today, you weren't getting half of those fouls back in the 80s and the 90s. And I know people are going to say the players back in the 80s and the 90s were tougher. Yes, they were. Yep, they were tougher. They took a punch, they took a bow, they took a knee, and they didn't get fouls called for them all the time. So I get that. However, the players today have way more tools, got way more better moves, can do way more. It's just overall athleticism when it comes to being on that court. So the players today, yes, they play a softer game, but they can do a whole hell of a lot more athletically than the players of old than the players of old could. So when you talk about on the Bulls, Ron Harper, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Luke Longley, Tony Kukoc, and you talk about them today playing in this league, the only difference is going to be that yes, those players had more hearts and they were just way tougher than the players of today. But when you talk about the Steph Currys, the Draymond Green, the Thompsons, what's my boy Kevin Durant, and what's that other dude name? I don't even know that other dude name. Whatever. But you talk about those guys, the Livingstons and the Iguodalas. Those guys today, they got way more tools and they could do way more on the court than those guys could. However, those guys were a lot tougher. Those guys played a lot more better defense than the guys do it today. At the end of the day, so it's different, but it's the same. It's the same. It's a balance in that. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying when you're talking about can they do it today? Absolutely. When you compare Michael Jordan to LeBron James, it's an unfair comparison, man. You have to realize that these are two players that play two different types of games. Michael Jordan was a killer. He was an annihilator. He destroyed his competition. LeBron James is a team player type of, he wants to get everybody involved. And even though he is one of the best players when it comes to being on the court, physically, athletic, being able to shoot, all of that stuff. He still wants to get everybody involved. So that's how he plays his game. He's more like a Scottie Pippen. He's more like a Magic Johnson than he is like a Michael Jordan. So I don't know why we make that comparison. However, when you talk about the stats, when you talk about all of the numbers, you have to factor in too. Michael Jordan played, was it 3 years in college? LeBron didn't. He went straight from high school to the show. Plain and simple. So there's a 3-year advantage of stats, numbers, and everything that he has on Michael Jordan. Stats really don't matter once you get to the point of being in the elite class. So yeah, he just passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the points thing or whatever. That don't make him the GOAT. And I don't get this other new stat that and I'm gonna say this. I am definitely a fan of LeBron James. I think he is probably one of, if not the greatest player of all time when it comes to overall what he does on the court and off the court. The best to ever play the game, I absolutely would say it's Michael Jordan. And I will not say anything different. Michael Jordan is the best player to ever play the game. And I'm going to explain why. When you're talking about LeBron James and what he brings to the table, what he does, his numbers, that is already established. But he don't even have more rings than Kobe. So how can you be the GOAT? He don't have more rings than Kobe. So what are we talking about here? And Kobe was probably the next best thing to Mike. So you can't just give him that because you like him. You can't just give him that because he's 6'8" and he do all of these. He got all these different tools and he this cold and he can do all this stuff and can't nobody really guard him. You can't just give him that. Is he dominant? Absolutely. One of the top 3 most dominant players I've ever seen. I can't think of too many people that could guard LeBron James effectively. I just don't. Somebody put James Harden. I'm not going to even entertain that. But I just don't. Now, when you're talking about what it is that he does, what it is that Mike does, there is a difference when you're talking about what the player brings to the table. Now, when you're talking about the tools, the dribbling, the shooting, and all of that stuff, I think they pretty much can do whatever it is they want to do on the court. However, I think that Michael Jordan being a much stronger defensive player, that gives him a huge leg up. LeBron James' defense is not on a Jordan-like caliber. It is not. You can talk about his scoring, you can talk about his moves, you can talk about all of that. But when you're just talking about the straight tools, Michael Jordan defense was incredible. He is one of the greatest defensive players of all time. Plain and simple. The numbers prove it. So when you're talking about the numbers, look at them numbers. When you're talking about how can you say somebody's the greatest ever and they're not one of the best defenders ever? Not saying they have to be the best, but one of the best. So it's like there has to be an acknowledgement there of saying, well, look, dude. Oh, damn, my thing starting over. You got to have the acknowledgement of saying, hey, dude, this guy did this extremely well. And then this new stat of everybody counting not how many times you win a championship, but the fact that you go, that is a bunch of BS. I don't care what anybody say. The next time I hear or see somebody post up 8 straight finals, 7 straight finals, man, that don't mean a damn thing when you're talking about the greatest of all time. When you're talking about being the best to ever play the game, all that kind of crap. Don't nobody count how many times you go to the Super Bowl to say that you great or to add to your greatness. Don't nobody count that. I ain't never heard that stat counted until people started talking about LeBron. And that's a fact. Nobody started counting how many times you go to the championship, you go to the finals, whether you win or lose, we count that. That don't go to your greatness, dude. It don't. And I wish people would stop doing it. You cannot count how many times. Don't nobody count the Patriots. Well, the Patriots been to the Super Bowl this many times, even though don't nobody count that. You count how many rings they won. You done won 5 rings. If you've been 8 times, so what? That means you lost 3. It takes away from it. That's why I say, hey man, yeah, Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but Joe Montana is still my dude. Why? Because Joe Montana never lost. The 4 times he went, 4 rings he brought home. He did not lose. Plain and simple. Say what you want to say, talk what you want to talk. He wasn't a loser in them finals. Neither was Michael Jordan. LeBron James, that's another story. You can't compare that to somebody who get multiple rings, how many times they done been. Because how many times they've been, it don't matter. Hell, there's plenty of people who done been a shitload of times. Does that make them the greatest? Because in that case, you talking about some of the players that have been the most amount of times. Hey, we can count them and say that they the greatest then. Right? Bill Sharman, 5 times. Tom Sanders, 6 times. James Jones, 7 times. That's LeBron boy. So are we now saying that that James Jones is one of the greatest players of all time because he been to the finals 7 straight times? Really? K.C. Jones been 7 times. Bob Cousy, 7 times. LeBron James, 7 times. Well, it's about to be 8. Frank Ramsey, 8 times. So that means Frank Ramsey's one of the greatest of all time because he been there 8 times. Yeah, right. Tom Heisen, 9 times. Sam Jones, 9 times. That's the Celtics. Bill Russell, he been 10 times. Is he one of the greatest of all time? Yeah, because the dude got about 50 rings. That's what you count. Stop saying that the fact that you go to the finals, that means something. That don't mean jack shit in sports. Nobody ever counted that. The Buffalo Bills went to the Super Bowl 4 times. Does that mean Jim Kelly is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time? Nope. Why? Because he lost 4 Super Bowls. So don't count that. Stop counting that. Stop posting that. The other part to this thing is this. Now that LeBron has gotten to the finals, because if they lose, they lose. I don't want to hear nothing about all his team weak. I don't want to hear nothing about he ain't got no help. I ain't going to hear nothing about them dudes ain't that. He orchestrated to have that team the way that it is. Most of them dudes that are there, if not all of them, they were there with his stamp of approval. Now, do they have all of the players that he wanted? Nope, probably not. But the guys out of there, your Kevin Loves, your Tristan Thompsons, your J.R. Smiths, your Kyle Korvers, those guys were there. And those are the guys he like, yeah, let's bring these guys on. So you can't say, oh, well, LeBron, they ain't getting him no help. That's why they losing. They ain't getting him this. That's why they lost. No. You step on the court with your boys, and that's who you got. That's what you go with. Because at the end of the day, getting back to the original question, them boys he playing with now, they were far better athletes than Scotty, Ron Harper, Dennis Rodman. They were better athletes. Were they great role players? Nope. Were they better role players? Absolutely not. Because you ain't got no Tristan Thompson showing up saying, I'm going to give you 18 boards every night. Dennis Rodman did. You don't have that. That's their problem. The problem with Cleveland is inconsistency. Kevin Love, in my opinion, is a bum. 7 foot of nothing. He's like he's just like Carlos Boozer. A big 7-foot fur coat. Soft as hell. You got 3 dudes on your team that can put up 30. That's all you need. You got 3 dudes on your squad that can score 30. You can contend for a championship in today's league. Plain and simple. And if your boys can't show up, if you ain't got a good enough role players, that's on your team. But at the end of the day, J.R. Smith, LeBron James, Kevin Love, they can all drop 30. Now people talk about Kyrie left. Hey, Kyrie left because Kyrie wanted to leave. What you want me to do? What you want me to do? Try to find another Kyrie, I guess. Hey, they tried to get the other boy, Isaiah Thomas. Bust. And at the end of the day, when you look at Cleveland, hey, how many people want to go to Cleveland? And then I'm pretty sure there's some people that don't want to play in LeBron's shadow. Kyrie may have been one of them. He don't want to play in that shadow. He don't want to be that role player. Then you need to find some guys that can. Because just like how LeBron went to Miami, he stepped into them roles and he made their team better than what they was. And people talking this super team crap, Man, that is something that has been going on since the beginning. Back in the day, it's always been going on. Today, it's always been going on. So it's like you can't sit back and say, oh, well, nah, he got a super team over in Golden State. That's why they... No. Because everybody was cheering. Everybody was chanting. And yeah, we about to... Everybody was Miami Heat fans when LeBron went to Miami. Super team. Plain and simple. Everybody was Boston fans when KG went to the Celtics. Super team. Everybody was Houston fans when Dominique and them went down there in Houston. I mean, not Dominique. That was Drexler now. Everybody was fans in. Super teams. Everybody was when Magic was out west with Showtime. Super team. So I don't want to hear that nonsense. That's nonsense. That has always happened in the NBA. It's just that people are mad because of the caliber player that KD is, and you look at how good he is, and ain't nobody got no answer for him, especially in Golden State. And then when you go back and you look at that dude, had he stayed in OKC, they still wouldn't have won because your boy, he cold. I ain't knocking Westbrook. He cold-blooded with it, but he all about them stats. That's it. And then I don't know what they was thinking bringing Carmelo there, because you got a big 6'8" dude that don't play no D, and he's so lazy on defense that in the last 7 minutes of your game to either win or go home, you couldn't even put that dude on the court because he don't play defense. That was one of the dumbest moves they could have made. They could have got anybody. Also, San Antonio, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Ginobili, Parker, super team. So we can just let all that stuff go. We ain't got to talk about that. That's a bunch of nonsense. So that's my thing with LeBron. Could Michael Jordan win with them? Yes, because Michael Jordan has a killer instinct, and he knows how to take over and win a game. And he can shut down, and he can play defense on the other side of the ball better than LeBron can. I ain't saying LeBron don't play D. Don't get that twisted. But what I'm saying is Michael Jordan plays better defense than LeBron, which makes him a better player. At the end of the day, in that aspect of just talking about all of the tools, what he does, he plays it better than LeBron. Yes. And in that instance, that makes him a better player. Just like when people would compare Kobe and Mike. Kobe was not as clutch of a player as Mike was. He just wasn't. Michael Jordan is one of the, if not the probably clutchest player of all time. He was that guy. But, like I said, you can't argue that. And that's something you just can't say, oh, well, he do that and that's just what it is and he got. That makes a huge difference. That little thing that LeBron did in Canada where he was beating up on the Raptors. Man, the Raptors are bums. The East is weak. It's a cakewalk. They were supposed to do that. So you can't give somebody credit for beating up the retarded kid in school. You can't say he cold with them hands. You can't say that. So it's like when you look at what they did against these boys here in Boston, they played their ass off and they won. LeBron stepped up and played. What did he play? Didn't he play 48 minutes? You can't knock that. That's greatness. I'm not knocking that one bit. That boy showed up and showed out. He showed at that team and he played the entire game. My thing is this. Love, Smith, Corver, and all the rest of them dudes, they should have been out there too. Tristan Thompson, all of them. They should have been out there too. Plain and simple. That dude with the level of the caliber of players that he had, Kevin Love was at one point arguably in the race for the MVP before he came to Cleveland. With the caliber players that they got there, them dudes shouldn't be complaining one bit. They should be able to step up when LeBron can only give you 35. He shouldn't have to drop 40 and 50 every night in order for y'all to win. That's because them boys are slacking. Plain and simple. And don't nobody want to say that though. Don't nobody want to say, yeah, they can play. They just not playing as well as they should. They lazy. They are so used to LeBron bailing them out. They so used to LeBron picking up the slack that them dudes are sitting back on their butts getting paid. You got just like the other night with Houston. You had that dude Ariza go 0 for 12. Boy, you a professional ball player. We pay you too much money for you to be out here going 0 for 12. Ain't got your head in the game. You a professional, man. This is what you do every day. You go to sleep, you wake up, and you play basketball. That's your job. I can't have no player going 0 for 12 in no game like that. Not no win or go home game. You ain't got that killer instinct. 0 for 12, I ain't going. So that's my thing. And yeah, when you talking about what they're gonna do now, the only way I think Cleveland can beat Golden State is that LeBron James is gonna have to shut down, or he's gonna have to really make KD work for everything he get. And he didn't do it last year for them finals, and I don't think he can do it this year. I don't think LeBron James can stop KD, and KD is the factor. Now, unless they get one of them fouls when somebody miss a game or somebody get knocked out or something or whatever, they can't play for 2 games or whatever on a suspension, they got a chance. Playing straight up, I don't see it going past 6. I don't see it going past 6. Them boys are coming, and ain't nobody got an answer for KD yet. In the league, ain't nobody answering KD. Ain't nobody saying, I got him. He ain't going to do what he been doing. He still might get his 30, but he going to get it the hard way. KD going up and down that court doing what he want to do, and ain't nobody stopping. That thing that Curry went through the other night, he lit them boys up. That's going to happen. But you can't stop KD, you can forget it, partner. Y'all ain't got a chance. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to get that thing out there about LeBron and Mike, because I'm so tired of people trying to compare these dudes, man. It's not a comparison, man. LeBron is great in his own lane. He is in his own lane. What we see in LeBron, the only person I've ever seen that play like him is a Scotty and a Magic. And Scotty couldn't even score like LeBron. He couldn't. He wasn't as athletic as LeBron was. He could not score like LeBron can. LeBron is just, man, he's a different type of beast. The only person I can see that could possibly kind of like score like him is maybe Magic. But that dude there, man, he is a beast. And I get it, but he ain't better than Mike. He just not. So y'all say what y'all say. Hey, whatever y'all want to say about it, comment and all that good stuff, but stop comparing them dudes. You can look at all of the numbers. What Mike was at 32 years old, what LeBron was at 32, don't mean nothing. That dude had 3 years of college. LeBron James didn't. And at the end of the day, the league, the way it's being played now, it is geared more towards offense. It is geared more towards that you being able to do a lot more than what you could do back in the day. So yeah, his numbers are gonna look better in that aspect. But you ain't seen LeBron get no defensive player of the year. You ain't seen that though. Nobody want to say nothing about that now. No one want to say nothing about that. But all I'm saying is, you have to look at the type of player that they are and say, hey, this player is this and that player is that. And when you compare greatness, you have to go with the package. You can't just say pick and choose. Oh, he been to the finals 8 times. I ain't trying to hear that. That's just like me saying Larry Bird is the greatest player of all time. It's not enough evidence to substantiate that. And I think that is the same case for LeBron. With the L's that LBJ done took, he done took too many L's. You can't substantiate that. You can't just dismiss that and just say this is what it is. No, you got to count them, man. Them L's and them big games, man, matter. They just do. You can't just knock that and say, oh, man, this dude every time he went, he won. I'd be like, oh, no, you can't say that. Well, he didn't make it back in 2008. Yeah, but he didn't get to the finals then. Every time that boy made it to the final, that boy won. When you can say that, then you can talk about Mike. Mike not doing a game 7. That counts for something. That ain't no real stat. That's just like the stat of going 8 times. I mean, going to the finals 8 times. It ain't no real stat, but it's definitely something to talk about. But you got to have something else to substantiate that. So I can say, well, LeBron James been to the finals 8 times, but he only won 3. Can't knock that. You them that 8 don't mean nothing. Now, if he been won 8, yeah, you can definitely say that. But it is what it is. Scotty, what do you say? Scotty's numbers look like shit compared. Hey, if anybody got any questions or anything, go ahead and put them in now before we wrap it up. Jordan retired, came back and won 3 more finals, yes. And that's another thing too. You ain't even three-peated yet, dude. How do you compare that? That's dominance. Three-peat is dominating. How do you not just say, well, we ain't gonna talk about that? No, you got a three-peat. You gotta have that in your repertoire. You talking about Mike. He came back and did it twice. He three-peated, left for 2 years, came back and three-peated again. Where they do that at? And out of them 3 years, Scotty almost took us there. Had it not been for that damn Hugh Hollins. Boy, I hate Hugh Hollins to this day. But it is what it is. But man, I'm telling you, man, that has to count for something. You have to look at that and say, hey, this is what it is. This is what happened. This is what we're talking about. And that has to mean something. So let me look at a few more of these comments here. Oh, that's some good water right there. Scotty numbers look like shit compared to LJ. Yes, he's not that type of player. He's just not. I get it. But I definitely would like to have a Scottie Pippen on my team. Because Scotty got D. Y'all remember when he locked up Mark Jackson, who's supposed to be the answer for the Bulls when they played Indiana? Sent Reggie Miller and them home one more game? Scottie Pippen. After taking off half the season because he had a bad back. Came back and stuck the little guy on the court. Yeah. There it is. 72-10 with a ring. They don't know nothing about that, Skull. Ain't nobody talking about that. Ain't nobody talking about that. 72-10 with a ring. Own it. At the end of the day, what Michael Jordan did and what he brought to that team was a level of dominance that I have not seen. I just have not seen it since then. And you talking about somebody who's been watching basketball since Showtime. That level of dominance, when they rolled. And them boys was unstoppable. That 72-10 year, come on, man. 10 games? Come on, man. If LeBron James won all 8 of them, no question. No question he'd be the GOAT. But he didn't. So that's why we questioning it. It is what it is. And that's my thing too. Tyrone made a good point. You can't talk. Can you be talking about LeBron James and Kobe? Yes. That needs to be the discussion first. Ask that question. Is LeBron James better than Kobe Bryant? When you're talking about career, what he's done on the court, can you say him as a player and him as a player that he has surpassed him as a career player? Now you talking about going one-on-one. Hey, you talking about size and all that kind of stuff. But can you just flat out say LeBron James is better than Kobe Bryant? I cannot say that. I just can't. I like LeBron James better than Kobe Bryant. I do. If I had to pick, I'd pick LeBron James over Kobe Bryant because I just would. That's just me. But I can't just say, yeah, man, that dude way better than Kobe. I can't just say that. I just can't. So that's my thing, man. Well, people, I appreciate it. It's been yet another great Talk About It Tuesday on a Wednesday. I appreciate everybody that came through. I'm going to read to see if we got any donations here. Look real quick. And then we going to call it a night, good people. And I'm going to go talk to my wife and see how her day was. And kiss on her and love on her and talk to her. Because I love her so much. Yes, I do. I'm coming, honey bunny. I'm coming to you if you're watching. Let's see here. Alright. So, hey now. We do got a few donations. Alright. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to my man Derek Floyd. Sorry about that. There's another oh man, Derek, thank you, man. He donated to the super chat. Thing about the super chat is I don't get enough donations in the super chat to where they'll like send it back to me. And YouTube get, they get 30% of it anyway. So it takes a long time. I still ain't got one from them yet because it takes like, I think you got to get up to so many hundreds of dollars or whatever before they send it to you. So it just takes a minute. That's all. But I appreciate that, man. Anyway, dude, thank you so much, man. That's what's up. Let's see. Loving the show. It's my first time watching. We'll be tuning in more. Beats and comedy. Thank you, brother. I appreciate your donation, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, good sir. And thanks for checking us out for the first time. Like, subscribe, and share. Yeah. Alright, let's see here, man. My man, Emmanuel Burns. Thank you, sir. Love the show, Brian. Keep doing you, my brother, and I will keep donating. Man, thank you, sir. I appreciate you, man. Yes, sir, indeed. That's what's up. Let's see here. Let me make sure I can say the name. Yep. Hey, this is from a man, L. Howard. Hey, Brian, great show. I donate to Tommy and DJ, Just J, so I figured I should support you as well. Soto Nation in the house. Hey, man, thank you, sir. I appreciate you, man. Yes, sir, indeed. My man, Jimmy D. Great show, Brian. I wish I could do more. Hey, man, I thank you for whatever it is, man. I appreciate every single donation, man. Thank you so much, sir. My boy. Good looking out. And as always, Pandorians and David. I'm going to start shouting them out too. Hi, Brian. Exactly. Sorry, been a while. Showing love. Pack takes care of Pack. That's what's up. Hope you and your family are well. Yes, they are. We are doing well. And thank you so much. Pandorians, one of my biggest supporters since day one. I appreciate everything that you guys do. I appreciate you guys donating to me. It is awesome to be able to do this thing that I do with you guys. So thank you so much. And to anybody else that may be watching this on the replay, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Matter of fact, let me see if I can put my channels in here, because we got the Guru and the Whore, which will be going on tomorrow. Yes, indeed. And we also got the United Guns of America. Now, let me tell y'all about that. So my UGOA channel has been growing. My goodness, it has been growing. I am literally getting like new subscribers, new comments every day. So man, everybody that's been supporting that channel, it has been awesome. And I got a show coming up. Probably gonna do it on Friday. It is going to be good. I got a lot of good content and stuff to talk about. So that'll be another good, bad, and ugly. That's gonna be good. I got some really good stuff for that. So be looking out for that on Friday, I believe. I'll either do it Friday or Saturday. But yes, I just want to say thank you again to everybody. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share to the channel. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for all of the likes. Look at that. We got up to over 120 something likes. That's what's happening. I think we had a total of like 77 something people watching. So man, I appreciate you guys. As always, I am Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab, and it's Talk About It Tuesday on Wednesday. Thank you guys. Peace, and I'm out. And remember, hold on. One more donation. Let's see here. There we go. Thank you for the show, Brian. Kisses for the missus. All right, Tara. Thank you so much. I'm going to kiss her myself, because she is so kissable. I love kissing her. Yes, indeed. Let me get off here. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you all. And as always, I hope that this helps somebody become a better version of themselves. Or I hope you just enjoyed the damn show. Peace. And as always, I'm out. Yes, indeed. Oh, and shout out to all the mods. Everybody in the chat that supported, posted the link, all that good stuff. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate you all. Have a good night, everybody. Peace and soul.